When Elisande leaves the Nighthold, it'll put a giant circle on the ground. Don't stand in this. During all phases of the fight there will be 2 elemental adds, a recursive and expedient add. Tank the boss near the recursive, which by the way is a more bluish color, and interrupt the expedient add, which is a more purplish color, so it comes over to the boss and the blue add. All DPS should kill the blue add as soon as possible, but before he dies, melee and any possible close range should get away from him because a blue bubble will pop up where he lands, and anyone who passes through this bubble has their movement speed and attack speed reduced by 30% for a short bit. This also applies to the boss's abilities. Wink wink. Then all DPS should just kill the purple add, which once dead will have a purple bubble pop up that everyone should run through since it increases movement speed and attack speed by 30% for 30 seconds. Phase 1, Elisande will cast Arcanetic Ring, which will spawn around the room and collapse inward with no exact rip to walk through. The bubbles will, however, speed or slow them down as they move through, so the group should get beside the blue slowdown bubble and then walk through as the rings slow down through it. Elisande will also cast Spanning Singularity around the room, which are different looking rings. They'll persist through the fight unless someone stands in them. They do a moderate amount of damage, so range should stand in them so they'll dissipate and not overwhelm the raid. The tank swap mechanic is Ablation. It doesn't do a whole lot of damage per stack and it lasts 10 seconds, so tank should swap every 4-ish stacks. When Elisande reaches 10%, she enters the Nighthold, heals to full health, then leaves the Nighthold. Phase 2, Elisande will cast a new ability called Epopheric Orbs. There's just these swirls on the ground that only one person should stand in. Use a defensive CD if you have to. She'll also cast Delphuric Beam on players, which will visually point 3 white arrows outwards of her towards 3 different players that will shoot a beam. These players should stand somewhat close together but not on top of each other, and no one should be in front of them. On Heroic, this move just happens more frequently. The tank swap ability in this phase is Ablation Explosion. When the tank gets it, the other tank should taunt off, and then the tank with the debuff should move away from the raid so it reduces the damage it does to the raid. When Elisande reaches 10% again, she heals full health and leaves the Nighthold for the last time. Phase 3, Elisande will cast a new ability on a few players called Conflexive Burst. Once this expires, it deals damage to the raid. If they all expire at the same time, then it'll deal a lot of damage to the raid, so you want to stagger when they explode by using the slowdown and speed up bubbles to increase or reduce the debuff time. Random players will also get a debuff called Permaliative Torment? Which is a dot that increases in damage. The damage ramps up more if you have the speed debuff and is slower with the slow debuff. If you notice you're taking a lot of damage, then you might want to grab the slow debuff. The debuff that can be applied to the tanks is Ablative Pulse. This casting spell can be interrupted, so it can be totally avoided. If it's not interrupted, then tanks will have to swap.